Thomas Nelson has recently re-released their Chronological Study Bible in comfort print. And for review, they've sent me the New King James and the NIV. NIV they sent in a hardcover edition, and it includes a dust jacket. And it also includes a blue 3/8 inch ribbon, double-sided satin, with no color on the page edges. And then the New King James is in Leathersoft, but this is a little bit unique for Leathersoft. It has raised spine hubs, and then the text is printed horizontally, so that when you're laying it on the table, you see the name of it. So we have a little bit of a grain in there. It looks just like the standard Leathersoft from Thomas Nelson, but then it also has a separate spine piece that is sewn onto it, front and back. Perimeter stitching. This is a paste down liner. And then on the back of the box, it does tell us, and this we also see this on the back of the hardcover edition. So it does tell us the information about the Bible and all the features. The Leathersoft has gold page edges, gold gilt, and then a red 3/8 inch ribbon. Both are Smythe sewn. The Leathersoft has a black paper paste down liner. The liner for the hardcover seems to be reinforced. See that little piece there? I think that's reinforced tape. And you see it going across here. So that should last fairly good bit. The content of both is the same, but there's something about the New King James that I like better than the NIV. So let's just get started here. I'm not sure what this paper is. Both editions are made in China. It feels like a coated paper. It's very elegant. That's an elegant paper. It kind of feels like Indopaque, except thicker. If I were guessing, I would call it 36 GSM, but I don't know. That's just a guess. Sometimes coating makes it seem thicker than it really is. So this could be the 32 GSM that they use in their other study Bibles, but it feels more elegant than that to me. Also, the paper itself has a lot of background color and a lot of design, like around the edges here, that makes it look like an old book. And then it has lots of full color photos. Dark red for highlights all throughout. Lots of good introduction material. And then it's divided into epochs. The epochs range from creation all the way to 100 AD. And everything is in the chronological order. But now it takes what I would consider a coarse timeline rather than a fine detailed timeline. And the reason I'm saying that is we start with Genesis 1, and we don't have John 1:1 in here. That doesn't appear until John, so it's not 100% fine-tuned, finely detailed. So it's more of a coarse detail. So I'd say it's more general than as detailed as it can be. I've seen other reading plans and things like that more detailed than this. But each epoch is divided into 9 epochs, and each one covers a different era. So we have before the patriarchs, we have patriarchs, Israel's ancestors, rise of the unified people, from tribes to a nation, the fall of 2 nations, exile and return, between the 2 testaments, the coming of the Messiah, and the church age. And then each of the epochs has this detailed introduction that steps you through the era, gives you the dates if they're known or possible dates, and then just gives you some information about the time period. And then also types of literature, key people, key events in that era, and then we get into our text. Now, it has several things along with the text, and they're not just at the bottom of the page. We have things that are just scattered throughout the text. Transition or commentary or notes on that section of text, and then it gives you the next section of text that you're going to read through. So it's kind of an introduction to a passage, or even a book introduction. Then we have our text with about 10 words per line, with footnotes at the bottom. And then we have other notes that just cover about the era, about the time, about the culture, about the history. Other notes are divided into what they are. For example, this one is plants and animals, and it just gives you some information. Then it has lots of tables throughout the text, and as you can see, they're not in a specific location. They're just kind of all over the place. It's a little busy. Does include art, more tables, science and technology. The page itself is a little bit busy, so if you're just wanting to read, this one I feel would be a little bit more difficult just to read the biblical text. But if you're studying the information that's on the page, then this is a great way to do it. I actually wouldn't mind reading through this Bible, and read all of the information. Why I think the New King James is a better design than the NIV is this poetic setting. Poetry in the New King James is broken in good places, good divisions. All throughout this Bible, they're in good divisions. So if we find more poetry, you're going to find excellent divisions all the way through. The NIV is not done as well, in my opinion. And that's just the translation. The information itself is the same. All the same. Now this one, of course, is done well. But when we get to Psalms, like that one is done well. When we find some Psalms, we end up finding a lot of them with a single word on a line. They're not as divided as cleanly as the New King James is. Still good enough. I mean, that looks good. But I do prefer the look and design of the New King James. The typeface is 9.5 black letter, comfort print. And then this is the one that's designed for the New King James. And then this one is the one that's designed for the NIV. But all through the Bible, we see here's culture and society. The same sort of notes all the way through. Tables, transition, and this is basically the introduction to this section, and then gives us the references. There's plants and animals again. Beliefs and ideas, culture and society. Now there is a little bit of theology in some of these. So mostly they do cover factual-based things like historical accounts and things along that line. That's the main point. Across the top, it provides the information about what epoch that we're in, and then gives the dates. And then in the middle of the page, we have the page number, and then the scripture references in the inner column. Now, the epochs are in different colors, so they're all color-coded. So you can actually find any epoch just by looking at the color. So there's Epoch 8, Epoch 6, and then back material. So that's really handy, finding things quickly. Beautiful photography. I love the paper in this. I love the photography in this, the colors. These are my kind of colors. My kind of information, too. I do wish that it was a little bit more detailed in the chronology. It's not bad by any means. And where speeches, where sermons, where there's two different locations for one sermon, they're put together. There's one of the pages that's a little bit more busy. Beautiful colors, lots of maps, color maps all throughout, with information about the map all throughout. Yeah, so these are filled with information. I have not yet compared them to the Cultural Study Bible and the Archaeology Study Bibles, but I will do that at a later date. I will get all those together and do some more detail. Beautiful. I love these colors. Artwork. And then in the back, we have a cultural and historical topic index. So you can find any of the information that you're looking for. And it breaks them up into larger topics. This paper feels silky smooth. If paper was ever made out of silk, I would believe this was it. It just feels silky. Then we have a glossary. Now, both of these have the same material so far. The only difference is going to be the concordance. They don't have cross-references or anything like that, except for what's in the notes. Then here's our concordance. And then they do include people and places. This is the New King James Concordance, and then I'll show you the NIV Concordance. So there's the NIV. Now, this one has a larger font. And this one has 10,000 scripture references with 2,474 word entries. The New King James, I don't think, tells you that. Doesn't give you that information. It is a large concordance, though. There's a lot in there. Both are good quality concordances for study Bibles. Then after the concordance, we have an index of scripture passages. Now what this does, it gives you the passage so you can look up the scripture references in order, biblical order, and then it gives you the page number that they're found on. Without this, it is really hard to find any particular passage. So that's really handy. And this is the entire Bible. Then in the back we have daily reading plans. Now there are 2 reading plans, a 1-year and a 2-year. They both use the same information. What they'll do is they'll break them up by epoch, and then it basically gives you a table with 1 year, 2 year, and then the reading. Then the 1 year gives you the date, the 2 year gives you the date with 2 days, and then it gives you the one reading. And then it's up to you to divide that into 2 readings for 2 year. There's the information. Wouldn't mind going through this one time. We'll have to try that. I have read the Bible chronologically, and I did enjoy it a lot. So I'm going to have to try this one. We used one of those chronological daily reading Bibles that was made for daily reading. I do want to try this one. Now, the New King James has several pages back here for notes. The NIV does not include this. That's the same as the Bible paper, and they are lined. I like that paper. I want a whole notebook with that. It's interesting. And then back here is the 8 pages of maps. This is the same maps that you find in other Thomas Nelson Bibles. Semi-gloss paper, real thick paper. Annotations, but no index. Now, some of the study Bibles have more maps, but these do just have the 8 pages. And then just a quick glance through this one just to show it is the same information, except for the concordance. There's the reading plans, and then there's the maps. Both of these are nice Bibles. I like them a lot. Stay open well. They look great. Beautiful for reading. They're distracting, so there's a lot of distractions in here. So that's a quick look at the Chronological Study Bible from Thomas Nelson, the newly revised edition with comfort print font. I like them a lot. I love the paper. I love the look of it. If you're wanting to read chronologically, it's not ultra detailed, but it's really, really good. I do like it. The paper is beautiful. The print is beautiful. If you're trying to do an in-depth study of chronology, this might not be your best bet. But for a course study of chronological, for a less detailed study in chronology, then this is a great choice. So Thomas Nelson did supply these in exchange for an honest review. I will place links in the notes and try to put some tags up here in the video also, where you can make a purchase if you're interested, and see the written review at BibleBuyingGuide.com with more detail. If you have any questions, let me know. Thanks for watching.